Hello, everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode. It is episode number 323 for September 9th, 2025. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I hope everybody's looking forward to this week. I think we're getting into fall weather. At least we are in our area, although it's supposed to warm up a little bit more this week. But yeah, we've been on a little bit cooler side, especially in the morning. So let's take a look at what I've been working on. And yeah, still not that far on the Stormy Sea quilt. I'm averaging about one block a week. Yeah, what can I say about that? That block that you see right in front of you, the largest one, that one gave me some real trouble. That block takes that specialty ruler that I spent like 70 bucks on, two peaks in one, it's called. And the instructions that came with it were very, very confusing. I had to consult about 5 different videos on YouTube, and still I was confused as to how you should use it. But I finally figured it out, and this is the end result, and it looks pretty good. This is going to be a really nice quilt when it's done. I just don't know when I'm going to get it done. And I'm hoping there are no other specialty rulers along the way in this quilt. Yeah, I know some people told me I could have made my own templates or something like that instead of spending all that money on the ruler. My friend Russ said he found the ruler for about $15 somewhere in his travels in his area. And yeah, well, this is the luck of the draw. But, you know, I could have got it for less money from Amazon, but I would have had to wait. Well, I wouldn't have had it right now. And I wasn't prepared to wait until the first week of October to get it. So I went to a quilt store an online quilt store that I've worked with before. And yeah, I just, sometimes you just need to push on, I guess, or whatever, not worry about it. Hey, in 10 years' time, it won't matter. So yeah, anyways, it is coming. This quilt, when it'll be done, no idea. Okay, so let's move on to what else. Well, of course, one of the reasons I'm not doing too well on the Stormy Sea quilt or getting too far ahead in it is because my attention has been diverted to these Christmas bags I'm making, and these are little, excuse me, freestanding lace ornaments that I'm going to attach to the handles of each bag as part of the gift. And so I have 4 made already. I'm making everything in 12s. Even though I don't need actually 12, I want to have a few extra, because there's always a last minute gift or something you need to give to somebody at Christmas time. So, yeah, these take a while to do, but they are very nice. And I've noticed that one of my snowflakes is bigger than the other, so I must have put in the wrong size. Well, it's not really the wrong size. It'll work fine. But I'll have to watch that on other ones that I'm going to be making. Anyways, they're coming along nicely. I may add some more color to them, as I did with the one that's got the gold in it. That was a bit of an experiment. I was trying to use metallic thread, and I have this thread called Bro Thread, and I bought it years ago when I first got into machine embroidery from Amazon. Don't buy it. It is cheap crap. And I should have known that at the time. But at the time, as you always do when you start something new, a new hobby that does cost money, like quilting, and in machine embroidery, I thought I'd see what something that was a little cheaper than what I was using would be like. And yeah. So that's what I did with the gold. But if you look at it real close up in the very top point, I started some of the gold, the thread started to break, and I tried a couple of things and went, nope, not worth the effort. So I just used my usual Floriani thread, which is fine. But I just thought it had a little sparkle. Now, apparently Walter has some embroidery thread that is metallic that he got from Monfil, and he says he's never had any problems with it. So I'm going to grab one of his spools and see how that works out. So yeah, all the time, it's always experiments, right? That's how you learn, I guess. Okay, so anything else here to show you? No, that's it for what I've been working on. I've of course been working on the bags, the tote bags, the big gray felt ones from Dollarama. I think I'm on bag number 5 right now. Yeah, they take a long time. And if it wasn't enough, I am starting to plan out several other projects, as you'll hear about a little later on today in the show. So let's go to what's coming up, what's happening. Well, of course, Wednesday sew day with me, sewing with Stephen. Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. All are welcome. Link is in the show notes below. So please, if you've never joined us and you're free that day and you want to get together with like-minded people to do some sewing of any sort, then join us. You're more than welcome. And speaking of being more than welcome, Pop-Up Sew Day this Saturday, September the 13th. Now, I know you're going to say, but didn't you have one like only about 2 weeks ago? Yes, I did. So why am I having another one? Because I can. And also because it's going to be a lonely day if I don't have one, because Walter is off that day to his in-person sew group, his garment sewers. And yeah, so I'm going to be sitting here sewing anyways. I might as well be sewing with friends. So please join us if you've never been to a pop-up sew day before. No biggie. It's very relaxed. It is a Zoom. Link is in the show notes for that. And those of you on my mailing list, you got your personalized link, so to speak. That makes you feel special, doesn't it? To the pop-up sew day. And if you want to be part of the mailing list, all you need to do, and I promise I will not be sending you emails every day or every week. I only send out ones to remind you of when a pop-up sew day is, and of course about the retreat. And so if you want to be part of that mailing list, all you need to do is send me an email with your first and last name, real names please, no aliases, and the email address that you wish to be contacted at, if it's different from the one you sent it to me from. If it's the same one, you don't even worry about that. So it's really easy. Just please put me on the mailing list. Here's my name. Bang, you're on. Yep, it's that easy. Where do you find my email address? Go into the description underneath this video, and you may have to click on the little more, the word that says more, and that'll expand it, and you will see a little thing that explains exactly how to get my email from that. So yeah, it's not hard. And as I said, everybody is welcome. So that's this coming Saturday, starting at, I always start that an hour earlier than the ones I do on Wednesday. I started at 8 a.m. and we run an hour longer to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, and if the link is in the show notes for this as well. Okay, so I had mentioned about rulers and things. Well, you know that I also bought a Trimmer by George, as it's called, 3.0. This is a ruler. I highly recommend it if you're a machine embroiderer. It's great for, when you have to trim down whatever you have made on the machine to a certain size, and you have to get rid of some of the stabilizer and that kind of thing. It's a great little ruler, albeit expensive. But I did buy a new one. I had the Trimmer by George 2.0. So I went to the 3.0, which has got some minor changes. It's nothing really major. The other one's getting a little scratched up. So that's why when I was in my local quilt store, I saw them there, thought I'd grab one. I think they cost me about $53, so it's not a cheap toy. And you also know that according to the packaging, there was a freebie, a pattern that you could download from the Hoop Sisters who make this product to make a carrying pouch for it to protect it. And it didn't work, the link. So I wrote to them, and I have never heard anything back from them. I've sent them 2 emails over the past 2 weeks. Nothing. Not a word from them. So, which kind of POs me because, that's bad customer service as far as I'm concerned. All I needed to know was, where do I get this? Because the links you provided don't work. Or even, it's not available anymore. Fine. That's all I needed. Don't need you to write me a book. But they couldn't even do that. So, and that's okay. I am not a fan of Hoop Sisters. I will tell you that right up front. Maybe you are, and that's fine. You do you. Nose is running a little bit. Yeah. Anyways, Russ, my good friend Russ from Quilt Meets World, he found it. Yeah. And, well, anyways, I have it now. And a couple of others of you found it too. Apparently, I don't know what happened. I did a search on their website. It came up with, I found it, but it was part of, I thought at the time, I must have misread something, that it was part of a paid pattern. But no, it is there. But the problem being is their QR code on the packaging, and they also had it written out in detail, URL for finding it, went nowhere. It went to a 404, which means, this page doesn't exist. Anyways, I have it. Will I make it? No. After all that, well, I don't really need it because I don't usually travel to anything. I don't travel anywhere anymore for sewing stuff. So I don't need to protect the ruler, in my travel bag of tools. So, yeah. It just really irked me that that's the kind of customer service that I got. Okay, let's get off that topic and go on to what we did for So Chatty this past week. Well, in this last week, we had a whole bunch of our favorites and our hates. Tools that, we can't live without, and tools that we wonder why did we buy them at the time. So that was in this past week's So Chatty. Next week, we're taking you on a trip. We went to a quilt show in a little village about an hour and a half northeast of us called Buckhorn. And this was by their local guild. And we weren't expecting a whole heck of a lot. Well, we were very, very pleasantly surprised. It was a great quilt show. Excuse me. A great quilt show, as I said. And I did buy things. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to buy anything, but I did. I bought some fabric. Walter bought some fabric as well. So this week on So Chatty, we have video of the whole event. And I was also very honored. They had a Quilt of Valor booth there, and I know the people who usually manage it. 2 of my quilts that I had donated some time ago to Quilts of Valor were there on display. I felt very, very honored by that. So they are working on getting those quilts to deserving vets. What they do is they match the quilt up with the vet. They just don't give them a quilt and willy-nilly. They try to find out things about the individual and they try to match the quilt up with that individual. So, which I think is a very nice personal touch. Makes it, I think, even more special. If I was a vet and I knew that this quilt was personally selected for me, I think I would be, I'd be in tears. So yeah, that made me very happy to see those 2 quilts there. Wasn't expecting that at all. And so all of that you're going to see on the video on So Chatty this coming Friday. So please tune in. Okay, so on our way back from the quilt show, we decided to stop into a quilt store that we go to every now and then. That isn't all that far away from us, but it's a little bit out of the way for us. And it's called Annie's Quilt Shop. And I did buy a few things there. Now, I'm working on a new project. My hairdresser last week mentioned to me, and I think it was a hint, that her colors right now that she really likes, and they're very trendy according to her, and I've done some research and apparently they are, and it's a strange color combination in my mind, sage green, gold, aubergine, eggplant, aubergine. Why do I have trouble with that word? And sort of a rusty orangey color, fallish orange. Yeah, that's not my color scheme at all. Like, I've never worked with those colors in that combination. Anyways, so I have been trying to put together a color palette. So when we went to Annie's, I said to Annie, okay, this is the color palette I'm looking for. And she was very, very good at helping me out with that. So I did buy some fabrics from there, and I'm going to show those to you in a minute. And of course, she had some old Canada 13 there as well, and I love that line. It's a gorgeous line. It is designed for Quilts of Valor, and I will make a Quilt of Valor out of it, but it's what I made, if you remember back, a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago. I'm sorry, I'm getting all choked up here. So I showed you the quilt that I made for my sister, and I made it from the O Canada 13 line. So I had to pick some of that up because it's not that easy to get. It goes out of the quilt stores as soon as it comes in because it is such a beautiful fabric. It's by Northcott. But I thought I would show you what I'm talking about. So here it is. So this is some of the line, and I picked up a couple of blenders and then the one with the maple leaves on it. You can't have too much of the O Canada series of fabrics as far as I'm concerned because they are absolutely gorgeous in all the lines that they have created. And this is the palette I'm talking about. Now, here on the video, the sage green is not really showing up as, it's showing up more gray than green, but it is a sage green. And the aubergine eggplant, it's a little deeper purple than what's showing up in the screen, and the orange isn't quite that bright. The yellow's fairly true to it, or the goldy yellow. So yeah, now these are a jumping off point. You'll notice that all of them are just, they have texture, but they're not really prints. And I want to take some samples of these down to Ultimate Sewing, maybe later this week, and see what they've got in prints that would go along with this color scheme as well. I've already started developing, I'm going to make her table runner, and I've already started developing the pattern that I want for that. So yeah, that's another project, and it's for Christmas, that I'm working on now. So, you know, I have all these, and then I've got a Halloween quilt as well that I want to make. Oh my goodness. No wonder I'm not getting the Stormy Sea done. I need to have, and I've said this many times before, and I'm very serious, I need assistance. I need people. I need a staff. Yeah. But anyways, as I've said before as well, keeps me off the streets. Yep. Okay, so something else that I received as a complete and utter surprise was from one of my subscribers, one of my Canadian subscribers who lives in Newfoundland, and lovely lady. Her name is Inez Walsh, and as I said, she lives out in Newfoundland. And yesterday, the post person came to my door and delivered a package, and I looked at the return address, and it was Inez, and I went, what's this all about? Well, this is what this was all about. What a way to make my day on a Monday morning. Inez so very kindly sent me some items that are unique to Newfoundland. This fabric with blueberries on it, a lovely fabric, very, very pretty, and it'll go with the panel, which I'll show you in a minute, that she sent me as well. These two little things up here at the top of the screen, those are decorative coffee cups. Well, I guess you can use them as coffee cups. They're almost like a demi-tasse, so espresso, cappuccino, be great with cappuccino. And they have puffins on them. And of course, say Newfoundland as well. The candies, and we tried some yesterday, these little, they call them peanut butter, one's assorted kisses, and the other's peanut butter kisses, and they're by a company called Purity, which I've never really heard of, but I believe it's located out in Newfoundland. These things are all manufactured in Newfoundland, and they're delicious. They kind of remind me of saltwater taffy, if you've ever had that, except softer. These are very buttery. They just melt in your mouth. They're delicious. Lots of calories, too. Of course, the first thing Walter did when I showed him what Inez sent us was look on the back of the package and find out how many grams of sugar are in them. He reads that all the time because, you know, he's pre-diabetic. So, Yeah. And then these crackers. Haven't tried those yet, but on Friday nights, we usually just nibble during the night. I make up I like to call it the poo-poo platter. Yeah, I don't know if there is such a thing as a poo-poo platter, but I think I saw that on some cartoon once years ago. Anyways, if you know the reference, maybe you can tell me where it came from. I'm thinking it came from the Flintstones, but I'm not absolutely sure. I remember something it had to do with flies. So, yeah, now that doesn't sound appetizing, does it? But anyways, we usually have some cheese and crackers and things like that. And so we'll be trying those crackers that night. Cream crackers, they have me enticed. So, yeah, that was very nice of Inez. And this is the panel she sent me. And it's beautiful. And it's puffins. I mean, what's not to like about puffins? And as she said in her note, and she wrote me a little note, and I'll just read it to you. She says, to Stephen and Walter, just wanted to say thanks once again for the wonderful gift you sent me. I am sending you a small gift from things made here in Newfoundland. Crackers made in St. John's for your spreadable cheese, a cup for your coffee, and some sweets made here as well. The puffin panel, we have lots of those birds here on the southern shore. Hope you enjoy, Inez. Well, yes, Inez, we will enjoy, and that was so nice of you and totally unnecessary. The gift she's referring to is she won one when I was doing the draws. She won that 1 month, and I sent her, the mystery box of 3D prints. But this is beautiful, and I'm thinking that I can do something with this panel with the blueberry fabric, and I'll probably supplement it with some other ones. And of course, it's got blue in it, and Inez knows me too well that she knows that both Walter and I love blue. So Inez, I can't thank you enough. It made my day. It was just a wonderful, very kind and thoughtful thing that you did for us. So thank you again so much. Okay, so Subscribers Quilt of the Week. This comes from Sue McKeon. This week's quilt from a subscriber comes from Sue McKeon, and we have seen this quilt once before, she says. And she says, I sent the bed quilt picture before, but added pillowcases, 2 small pillows and 2 body pillows. I understand if you don't want to use this. Well, I mean, it's definitely a beautiful quilt, so it deserves a second look. And now that you've got the pillows all made for it, I think that really adds to the whole effect. It's definitely a complete ensemble. So this is a beautiful quilt. It looks great on your bed. Yeah, I'd be very proud if I had something like this on my bed with the matching pillows. So thank you, Sue, for sending in this beautiful creation. Now, this week's YouTube video comes from Becca, and you know that I will be having Becca on the Idiot Quilters the Idiot Quilter Fall Retreat this year. And she has a tutorial on doing what she calls the fastest DIY pencil pouch ever using 1 fat quarter. So here's my review of that. This week's YouTube video of the week is from Becca, and you should be familiar with Becca, but if you're not, you'll get to know her a little better on my retreat on October the 25th, because she is, as you know, one of my guest speakers. But in the meantime, you should check out her channel because she has a lot of amazing videos about different projects and sewing techniques and quilting techniques. And this one's called the fastest DIY pencil pouch ever using 1 fat quarter. And with the kids going back to school, this might be something that you'd like to gift to a grandchild or someone you know that is going back to school or is in school, or it's just great to have around the house. And I'm sure you can also use it for other things like some of your sewing tools, quilting tools, as well as pencils or whatever. So if you want a quick tutorial on how to make one of these that's very clearly presented, very professionally done, and really entertaining as well, then check out Becca's fastest DIY pencil pouch ever using 1 fat quarter. So I've already shown you the FSL freestanding lace ornaments that I'm making for my tote bags, for the Christmas tote bags, and I thought you might be interested in knowing a little bit more about freestanding lace, where you can get them. So I'm sticking that in this section where I usually do future projects, because this isn't a future project because I'm already working on it. This week's future projects are ones I've already started on because they're for Christmas, and you know you can't start too early for Christmas. And they are what's called FSL Christmas ornaments. Or FSL stands for freestanding lace, which means that there is absolutely no fabric in these, and your stabilizer is a water soluble, which comes right out after you're done. And you can see there are many designs to choose from. Some of them are in color, some of them you just do in white, or it's your choice really what color you use. These ones are cute, that hold a little picture, so sort of a Christmas tree decoration keepsake for future generations. Some that have a three-dimensional look to them as well, and I like them because you can take them and you can put them on a gift if you want to dress it up, or you can put them on a tote bag like I'm going to do. And here are some that almost look like quilting patterns, and yeah, they're great. They're very versatile, so hang them on your tree. You can use them as coasters at Christmas time. There's lots of uses for these. They do take a little time to stitch out, but they're not that expensive, and often at this time of the year, or coming closer to Christmas when we get there, still a few months away, they'll put them on sale. So you may want to try your hand at doing some FSL. One tip: double the amount of stabilizer you would normally use. I use about 4 layers of water-soluble stabilizer for these because you don't have any fabric with them, so to give them the support, so you need more stabilizer. Don't cheap out on the stabilizer. You will regret it. Okay, check them out. So that takes me to what's twisting my seams, or better, I should say, what's twisting your seams. And this week, it's Caroline Farmer who sent me in a picture of what's twisting her seams. This week on What's Twisting My Seams comes from Carolyn Farmer, and she writes the following about this fabric, which I don't really find ugly, so let's see what she thinks about this. I bought this diamond dust fabric online because I thought I would use it as a backing for some Christmas or Halloween placemats. I think that's a good plan. It was advertised as metallic, so I thought the metallic part would be embedded into the fabric. However, it's sparkles that come off in your hand and make a mess everywhere, not woven into the fabric. Okay, that changes the whole idea here of making placemats or anything like that. Let's just say it lives up to its name, diamond dust. What a waste of money. I'm lucky I bought it on sale and didn't pay full price. I'm not sure what to do with this fabric now. It sure has twisted my seams. So Carolyn, I'm wondering if you were to pre-wash it, whether a lot of that sparkle might come off, and then you could use it for a placemat or for a backing or something like that. But if it doesn't, I don't know what you'd do with it either. I think it's kind of pretty, but as you said, if the sparkles come off, that just makes it a disaster, and you wouldn't want to give that as a gift to anybody, and they'll be picking up sparkle out of their carpet or off their floors for the next year. So yeah, I can see this is a little bit of a twist on what's twisting my seams, because it's not so much the fabric itself as much as the embellishment of the sparkles. So thank you, Caroline, for sending that to us. So, of course, I've been telling you I've been working on lots of Christmas stuff and other things. So here's my weekly little video of what I've been working on. So, what I've been working on this week? Well, this, that, and everything else. So let's start with this pile. These are projects. Yes, I'm running out of space. I may have to do something about this whole pile of patterns and things in the back here, because things are getting buried. And although I've got different projects labeled and everything, am I ever going to get to them? I don't know. Of course, I'm still working on my bags as well, and they're taking forever. Then I went and I bought some more fabric. So this is a project for Halloween. I don't know if it's going to get done this year or not. I've been trying to sort out fabrics for this. I found this pattern, and I'm waiting for the panel as well. I've been working on, and you've seen these are my freestanding lace ornaments that are going to go on those bags that I'm making, the totes. And then, of course, I saw this and had to have it. You've already seen it. It's the Sunny in the Sunflowers panel, and I did buy the coordinating fabrics, as you can see down here, for that. Don't know yet what I'm going to do with it. May have to look and see if there's a pattern for this, and I think there is for this panel. I'm not really a fan of panels, but I'm becoming more of a fan of panels. So I don't know what that says. I've got a couple of things in boxes here. I was trying to make these Christmas in the hoop rug mugs, mug rugs. That's what I'm trying to say. I wasn't happy how the first one turned out. I think I used a water-soluble stabilizer that just made it stiff, so I might try and make another one, although they take some time, and I was thinking of them as Christmas gifts, and I just don't know if I have time to spend on all of this. I'm spending way too much time on Christmas gifts. Of course, I'm still working on Stormy Sea, and you already saw the blocks. They're under this panel at the moment. For that, I'm only basically getting one block a week done. That isn't so good. I need to pick up the pace. But as I said, too many projects. And then I got this pretty fat quarter bundle, which you've already seen, and have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I don't even know where I'm going to store it, but it's pretty, and I bought it. And of course, I'm working on a color palette that is foreign to me. This was suggested to me by my hairdresser. I think she wants me to make something out of these colors for her. I'm thinking a table runner. So I'm looking for various patterns for this. And these are not necessarily the final color fabrics I'm going to use, but I picked them up. So we have, sage green. It probably doesn't show up on the video as sage green, but it is. I've got aubergine, which is eggplant. Then I have sort of a orangey, darky orange color, and then this goldy, I don't know what color you would call it, yellowy. These are the colors that she seems to be attracted to. Not my colorway, but, if it makes her happy. But I'm not done with this yet. I've got to go over to Ultimate Sewing, take some of these fabrics with me, and see what else I can get to go along and create the palette for this. Let's see, what else have I been up to? Oh yeah, cameras. Okay. The technological side of this room, I've been playing around with cameras. There's a camera there. This is a camera here. There's a camera up there. And then there's the camera on the computer. And then there's another camera up there. And you're going to say, why the heck do you have so many cameras? So I can do different shots for different projects in different ways. But I had a problem with my system. And I won't bore you with the technical details, but it did cost me some money to get it to run the way I want it to run. I think I'm okay right now with that. I do need to do more of a cleanup in this room. Things are just getting, it's not dirty, it's just getting a little disheveled in here. Like I've got too much stuff. I don't want to see all this stuff sitting out. I want a more clean look, but I really don't know where I'm going to put things because, of course, I've got the printers here. That's a box I'm working on for keeping some of the equipment that I need for my printers. My new printer here, I leveled it up because Walter kept insisting I should level it more, so I did. And I've been having a few little problems with it. They're very, very minor. Talked about them in my vlog, so I'm not going to discuss them any further. And yeah, and I've got quilts that need to go on Lucy as well. I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I need staff. I need people to cut fabric for me and to do I need someone to do the long arming for me. That would be great. I'm still working on Walter in that case. And yeah, it's just been really, really busy this summer and into the fall. And, I'm starting to panic because although Christmas and Halloween are a little bit of ways away, they're not that far. And I have all these projects. I have only myself to blame. I start something, I get an idea, and it just grows from there. So, yeah. Okay, the one thing I always say is, well, at least I'm not bored. So that takes me to this week's online quilt store review, and this one is a store called Fabrications.
This week's online quilt store is located in Ottawa, Ontario, and is called Fabrications Ottawa. And here's their front page, and you can see they're featuring some pictures of their fabrics, and they have classes and some pictures of the outside of their store. So let's cursor down a little bit and see what else we're showing here. Featured collections, Sashiko template they have for that, Ultra Pro seam ripper, mini crochet hook set. They have stickers and so much more. Needle punch fashion, a little bit about them, some testimonials as well. Okay, well, they have sewing machines. We'll come back to that, but let's just get right into their fabrics. And they have apparel, fabrics, and the knits and jerseys, denim, etc., and quilting cottons. So blenders, new solid quilting cottons, pre-cuts and bundles, quilt kits, wide back seasonal quilting, and sustainable and organic fabrics. Okay, so let's go all quilting cottons and see what we have here. Okay, this is interesting. $44.96 per meter. That must be wide back. Yeah, that's wide back. Wide back's expensive. $44.96 per meter. That's very, very expensive for wide back. $24.96 a meter, $24.96 a meter. I'm assuming these ones are your regular width. Yes, they are, but that's pricey as well at $25 a meter. So let's see, maybe this is because these look like they're specialty fabrics. Let us go down and see if the prices get any less expensive. Well, lots of Christmas. Okay, here we have, okay, Northcott Tuscan Cornflower, $17.96 a meter. That's a little better. But it looks like their average price is $24.96 per meter, and it looks like wide backs are in the $40 range. So, yeah, I'd say that their prices are on the upper end of the scale. That doesn't impress me much with that. Let's take a look at what they have for blenders. $24.96 for blenders. Well, Toscana by Northcott is $17.96, which is not a bad price. Okay, what else can we look at in here? Solids, $15.96 per meter. Okay, that's about, yeah, the going price for solids. Pre-cuts and bundles. Okay, they've got a lot of this. Looks like they really are into this Lizzie House brand. I have never heard of it before. Their prices on fat quarter bundles are actually, yeah, they're a little pricey. It's keeping in with the rest of their prices. They're not an inexpensive store at all, and not much to pick from in the pre-cuts and bundles. Quilt kits. Well, yeah. Not a lot here to choose from either. So selection-wise in quilt kits is not the best. Okay, let's go to wide backs. We already know, like, okay, $33.72, that's still expensive. $32.96, $47.96, $39.96. Yeah, the prices are just way out, way too high. And not a really great selection of wide backs either. So far, this store is not really impressing me. Let's check seasonal quilting cottons. Same prices. Okay, we've seen those before. So really, selection is not really there. Price is a little high. What about patterns? Yeah, about the average price for patterns. They have clothing patterns. Yeah, it looks to me like this store is more geared towards apparel sewing than it is for quilting. They also have yarn. So yeah, if you're a knitter, and I have no idea about prices on this kind of stuff, so, or whether this is a good selection or not, 5 pages of it. So yeah, they're a little bit of everything. They're kind of like a fabric land. If you know what a fabric land is, you know, they sell fabric, they sell, you know, sewing things and that. They're out of business right now in Ontario. Um, and they were very expensive as well, although I'm not really um, comparing Fabricland to Fabrications Ottawa because they're a little different, and I would hope that Fabrications is better quality fabric than what they were selling at Fabricland. Okay, so what else have we got? We have supplies. So you've got your notions, buttons, interfacing, thread, fabric treatment. Now, do they sell batting? And yes, they do under interfacing and trim. It's pre-packaged. It's Quilter's Dream, which is a good brand. And yeah, they do sell it by the roll. Wow. That is expensive. $659. What makes this special? Well, now it says it's $814. That's 27 meters by 92 inches. Oh, that is way, way too much for that. Even if it's Quilter's Dream. Quilter's Dream tends to be a little bit more expensive, but that is astronomical right there. Astronomical. For 27 meters? No. That is not good price at all. Not impressed. Okay. Promotions, classes. Let's see what they have classes. Class calendar. So they have some classes. Beginning, pillowcase, social club, socks, placemats, pants, jacket. Yeah, see, a lot of this stuff is more general sewing and garment sewing as opposed to quilting. So again, I think I stand by my comment that I think this store is more about garment sewing than it is about quilting. Quilting seems to be sort of an afterthought. They do have sewing machines. So who do they sell? Well, they have Janome. Okay. Wide selection of Janomes. The M8 they're selling for $10,000. That seems, and supposedly on sale. I wonder if you can dicker with them because that seems a little high. Okay, so I wonder if they service their own machines. Yep, they do. Sewing machine service. They have dates for dropping it off. Sold out. Sewing machine maintenance and cleaning, $150. Huh. Drop off September 2, pick it up. Okay, it looks like it's about 4 days. So they have this sort of scheduled out, I guess, so their technician can keep up and not get overwhelmed. That's not such a bad idea. I've not really seen that in any other stores that I have reviewed. Okay, and they have events, store events. Michael Smith from Janome, the Canadian educator for Janome, is going to be there from September 20th to 21st. They have something called Summer Bingo, Maker's Dozen, and they do have a sewing retreat which is sold out in October. Looks nice. Nice location by the looks of things. $650. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, it's not many days though. Let's see. Check in all day Friday, all day Saturday until lunchtime on Sunday. So basically it's 2 days. 2.5 days. That's pricey for 2.5 days, I think. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Of course, it looks like it's a very nice venue, so it's probably a lot of the prices for rooms in there. Okay, so anything else I can say about this? I wonder about shipping. Do they have something at the bottom of their page about shipping? FAQ, shipping and returns. Okay. We offer flat rate at $12 for shipping for all orders being shipped within Canada and $19 for orders being shipped to the USA. I have a feeling not. This is old news now, given the way the tariffs are working these days. They have local delivery. Expedient shopping. Does it say who it is by? I am assuming it is Canada Post. Okay, they do. Oh, wait, we ship out Canada Post orders. Okay, it's Canada Post. Well, that's not a bad price for shipping, but they certainly make up what they lose on shipping in the prices of their fabric. Okay, so that's Fabrications Ottawa. I'm going to give them about a 6 out of 10. I think their prices are a little on the high side. I think their selection is a bit skimpy when it comes to quilting supplies and fabrics. But shipping is reasonable. So yeah, Fabrications in Ottawa, you might want to check it out. So that brings me to the end of this episode of the Idiot Quilter. And just a reminder that the fall retreat is on October 25th. Stay tuned for more details in the coming weeks. And of course, Pop-Up Sew Day, as I mentioned before, this coming Saturday. So lots of things coming up, lots of things to keep you entertained and help you with your sewing. And I imagine, like me, many of you are probably starting to think about Christmas holidays, Thanksgiving, all those things, Halloween, and you probably have projects that you want to get on with. Well, what better way to do it than come to a Wednesday sew day or come to a pop-up sew day? That's what they're for. Okay, have a great day, a great week, a great life. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.